Hi everybody, this is Clarine from Reenie's room, and today we're going to make a card. It's called a fun fold. So what we have is a 4x6. This one I made as a happy birthday, and you open it up. There's a magnet that holds it closed, so you just open it up, and inside you can put a gift card. You could put money in there. You could also just leave this blank and have a place for a sentiment in addition to your happy birthday. I originally saw this tutorial on YouTube, and the woman's name is Terry Walker. She was a Stampin' Up! Rep, a little bit older tutorial, but I thought it was really cute and wanted to make a few of them. So let's get started. I'll put that there. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need solid cardstock. You'll cut one 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. You'll cut a second one 8 inches by 3 inches. And then you're going to switch to patterned paper. As you can see, there's my patterned paper. And you'll cut two that are first you'll cut one that's 5 1/4 by 4. Then you'll cut two that are 4 inches by 2 1/2. And then you'll cut one that's 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And then you'll cut a little white one that is for the sentiment on the inside at 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So I went ahead and cut mine out ahead of time. Before I do that, I want to show you, we're going to move this out of the way just a little bit. I brought all of my templates, these measurements that I just gave you, and these are ready to cut out. So this is the inside, this was the two on the inside flap, and I just couldn't stop. There were so many pretty things in here. So this is one that's going to be a card. This is the second one that's going to be a card, a little bit different. And as you can probably tell just by changing the background of your cardstock, it adds a lot to it. Okay, so what I have here is that first one that's 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. And the reason I'm stopping here is I want to remind you, it is important when you do your score marks that you know that this is the valley, that you lay it down, and then you fold it backwards before you do your scoring. And the reason that that is important is because so many times the fibers in the card will split. This way you have at least a chance of it not splitting on you. Okay, so what we did then is I cut this 8 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then I scored that at 5 1/2, turned it down, folded it back, and burnished. And then the second one that I cut out is 8 inches by 3 inches, and that one I scored at 4. So this is my valley, fold it over, and then you fold and burnish. This gives you nice crisp lines. Okay, so then I cut out the bigger piece, the pattern one that was 5 1/4 by 4, and that's going to go right in here. And I'm just going to glue that down. I don't know if you've seen these yet. This is called my Sweet Petunia, and it really is a nice instrument as far as gluing. And that's the website that you would go to if you're interested. My Sweet Petunia, and it's their glue attachment. And then it just sets in this case, which keeps your glue down, and you don't have to clean the nozzle quite as often. All right, so I'm going to glue this in here and just kind of center it. These are the pattern papers that we cut out that were 4 inches by 2.5, and they are going to go right here. You'll have one on the front and one on the back, so that when you open your card, that flap is covered. Now I wanted to close mine with a magnet, so what I'm going to do is, let me put this other one on first, this other flap, so that you can see what we're going to do. We're going to kind of reverse it. You know, usually your flaps open this way, but we're going to reverse this and have it open backwards. So this is that second piece that's 8 by 3 that you cut, and I'm going to center that right there. So glue that down. Remember to pay attention to your corners. There's nothing worse than having your corners come up after everything is dried. Don't have to put a lot of glue, but gotta make sure it gets into those outer edges. Then I'm just going to center this. Right here. Oops, sorry. Upside down. There we go. You can use runner tape if you want. Sometimes it's nice to have that extra little smooshing area that you get with glue. Alright, so before I put this pattern paper on the front, I'm going to bring in one of my magnets. And when this folds over, you see how it overlaps? So I'm probably going to want the magnet about here. So I'm going to just put that down there. And it won't stay, so let me, whoops, turn this guy over. I'll put that there. If you're using the Graze magnets, they have that little dab of tape in the back that kind of helps hold it in place, but I like these because I can just hold them down with score tape. So I'll put that down there. And that'll hold my magnet in place. So it's going to go over like that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down this first panel. I went ahead and outlined the edges of my pattern paper with turquoise. The other cards, as I make them up, I'll change that to correspond with the colors in the pattern paper. And I just used the one of those markers. And then I'm going to put this on there, centered. Squish it around a little bit. There you go. That goes down there. Put a little extra pressure on that magnet because it doesn't have a big rise to it. It stays pretty flat. So that's how that one's going to go. Now I can go ahead and mount this on the back because my other magnet is going to be sticking to this side. So this won't be in the way. So I'm going to just go ahead and mount this side. Get in the little corners. I was real happy when I came across this because my stock of cards was getting pretty low, and I thought, oh my goodness, you know, you have to keep that stock up for when you need them. So I'm going to put this in the center here. So I figure with all these different colors and designs that I've made up with my templates, that ought to be good for a little while. I'm just going to make sure that's flat. Bone folders are good for squishing glue around. Okay, so here we are with the front, and this is going to fold over here. So I'm going to take my other magnet and kind of figure out where the first one went. just drop it. Magnets always kind of find their their direction, and that's going to fold over and go here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to put it over here on the top. See what I did wrong? I put it down here, and then it was too hard to see where it was going to fit up here. So this is the flap that's going to be down, so I put that down, and just the magnet will find itself where it needs to go. And get another piece of, oops, don't need 2 inches. Another piece of tape. Put that down here. And that's going to hold it in place. And I'll pull with my tape. Then I'm going to glue down the piece that we cut that was 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that's going to go right here. So it's going to cover the magnet, and I'm going to center it right there. I'll glue that down. I just buy magnets in bulk at Amazon, and it's the easiest way. And these actually measure, it says 100 pieces, 10 by 1 millimeter, magnet 101. I use a lot of them. They work great. So now I'm going to center this. A little extra pressure around where those magnets are. You want to make sure that's down. So that just lifts up and then closes itself. Very cool. Okay. So then I have a little sentiment that I'm going to be putting on the top. You are the flower in my garden. I had that for a long, long time, and I just really like it. So I'm going to put this on with pop-ups. Get a little dimension going, otherwise everything is flat so far. So I'm going to put on about probably 6 or 8 of these. I'm all out of the larger ones right now, so I got to get some of those ordered. I'll put this here, and I'm going to just put 2 more just because I don't want it to sag. Those guys up. There we go. And then I'm just going to center this here. And that goes right on the cover. Go. Okay. Now for the inside, when I was making the templates and the different colors and stuff, this is a sentiment that I just put on the front. I had cut out some little ephemera just to have a little something extra in there. So for this one, I chose this little bird, and I left my white sheet that was 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So let me just cut one real quick. 3 3/4, 2 3/4. Close enough. Okay. So this is taking the place of the little card that was in there. So I'm going to put this in here. So we'll have a little extra space in here for writing something for the occasion, whatever it is. And then these were part of the ephemera. This is a little bird that kind of matched some of these others. I just brought it into Photoshop and made the bird bigger so I could put it on here. And I'm going to put that on with pop-ups also. And I outlined this edge too. You know, you don't always have to outline your edges. If I'm making the basic card out of white, I usually don't. But if I'm using a colored background, I just like to blend it in a little better. So I'm going to just put this little bird right here. And then the other two birds that I had cut out was one that was flying, and then another little bird that was just sitting down. Let me see if I want to put that anywhere. Oh, that looks good. I think I'm going to put that up there. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to do until you get all your stuff out and you look at it. So I'm going to put that on with the pop-up, keeping on the sentiment part itself. Oh yeah, that's cute. Adds a little texture, and I like that. Okay, now this one I think I'm just going to put on the back of my card, and then down here I'll put the date or the occasion, something like that. And since it's going on the back, I'm just going to glue it down, and then that kind of ties your project up. There we go. Okay, so I'll just write something down here, especially the date. It's always good to, when you give a card, somebody can find out later on who it came from because you forget. Well, there you have it. Our little seaside fun fold. And you open it up and write your sentiment, or put in a pack of money if you're sending it to the grandkids. And then it just folds over. There you have it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have as much fun making yours as I did.